Well, one setting is here, just like a moment. Oh, okay. Well, now here we can see these momentums at the points. Well, setting is okay. Well, Salam Habibi, how are you? I hope you are fine. It is me, Michaela Santa. I am here with you. Accordance with titles, yes, today we are roasting our beautiful moments. Today we are roasting our ugly girl, Divija Bhasin. And now, what is the topics? The topic is women are illogicals at war battlegrounds. And here today's keyword is India versus Iran. Okay? And now, generally we could see that here are several moments that here Divija Bhasin says some nonsense in a videos where Divija Bhasin say that don't call women a dumb or weak or illogicals. You don't believe me, right? And here, let's check it the moments. Let's watch a short. Okay. And now here I would show you the moments. Okay. It is she, the Divija Bhasin, the ugly girls. Now let's check it. Okay. Well,
women will do something stereotypical like putting lip gloss when there is war going on in the background.
well. In this moment here, we have seen this. Here, Divija Bhasin were talking the words. Here is some trends going on. Here, women are doing leaves on the grass when the war is ongoing on the battlegrounds.
And they'll play this with the caption, "I'm just a girl." This song has now become a soundtrack for doing stupid things as a girl and basic.
Okay. Now here we can see the moments. Now let's take it the points. And here, now here we are talking that the points. Here is the background music song that is "I Am Just a Girl," and here Divija Bhasin said that some misogynist man said that women are stupids. I mean, girls are stupids when the battlegrounds is ongoing. Women just doing the stupid thing on the battlegrounds. It is the points. But now let's take it. What is the points of Divija Bhasin's?
They're promoting the patriarchal idea that women are dumb, weak, and illogical.
Yes, it is right. Women are dumb, women are weak, and women are illogical. But I do not think that all of women are weak. We contains women like Rhea Ripley, the WWE women wrestler. She is more strong than several men.
Does your partner? So there is.
And here we could say that women can be strong. At the 1%, women can be strong than men. But every point we could see that women are dumb, women are illogicals. Okay. Now here we can see these moments. Now here it is the moment of pause.
Illogical. In psychology, we call this a self-fulfilling.
Well, now let's watch about the psychology of Divija Bhasin. In psychology, we call this self-fulfilling prophecy.
Prophecy, where we start behaving according to the society, and that reinforces.
Well, now here we can see the stereotype that boys are naturally better at math than girls.
Their incorrect beliefs about us, and I find it so.
Okay.
Funny because this song is literally a feminist anthem.
Oh, what is the funny? Just a Girl is a feminist anthem. And it is a feminist anthem is the points. I am just a girl, don't call me dumb, don't call me illogical. It is the points of a girl. This is the feminist anthem. Women are stupid and women are dumb. Women are illogical. And I can prove it according with my points. Okay. Now here is the topic about the moments. Just wait and watch. And here I contains distance.org. Well, okay. Now here we can see the points. Here I would input the departure time as I would input departure place as India and arrival place as an Iran's. Okay. Now here I can input departure is V Shah Vishakhapatnam's is an departure place, and arrival place is Bandar Abbas Hormozgan of Iran. Here we can see these moments. Well, I think it is inaccurate. Now here, let's check the another points. Chennai, Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India, and here we can see Bandar Abbas. Yes. Now here we can see the points. Here flying distance is 2946 kilometers. Round figure is 3000 kilometers. On the other hand, here driving distances here 5171 kilometers, and the round figure is here seven. Round figure is almost 6000 kilometers. Okay, and here that is the moments at the points. Well, and here I can write here the moments. Now let's check it. Uh, okay. Now here topic. What is the topics? Topic is Indian Army versus Iranian revolutionary terrorist. Okay, I think here is the significant difference moments. Well, day par. What is the departure? Departure is Chennai, Tamil Nadu, India. And what is the arrival? Here arrival moment is Bandar Abbas Hormozgan, Iran. Now here we can see, now here the drive, let's talk about the driving distance. Now what is the driving distance? Driving distance is 6,000 kilometer. Okay. Man, Indian Army tank velocity is almost, well, I think here 12,000 kilometer per second. On the other hand, woman Indian Army tank velocity is almost 60 kilometer per hour. Okay, and now here is the moments. It is the now here is my points, that how can I prove logically that women are illogicals. Okay, now here we can see these moments. Now here is a war between India versus Iran. And now when the war is between India versus Iran at the moment, war, war is Indian women wear lipstick on the lips. Women were doing like a feminine dance at the moment. But here, what man do? Man is planning to attack Bandar Abbas to eliminate Iranian revolutionary naval terrorists. And now here we can see the points. What is the moments here? Distance is 6,000 kilometers. Indian man military tank contains the velocity of 12,000 kilometers per second. Okay. Now here I could contest the voice. My brother became Muslim. Okay. Well, it is not problem. So every person contains the rights to change his religions. But your brother is Muslim. I cannot help. But what is the moment that your brother became Muslim? You can comment here. Okay. Now here, now let's come to the topics. Now here we can see the points. My Indian Indian Army man military tanks contains the velocity of 12,000 kilometers per second. That means here he, the, he can travel 6,000 kilometers in 0.5 seconds. I mean 500 milliseconds. Now here we can see the points. Departure time would be on Chennai, Tamil Nadu of India. What is the timing? The timing is morning 6 o'clock, April 15, 2026. Oh, morning 6 o'clock, April 16, 2026. Indian man military tanks depart the Chennai, Tamil Nadu, city of Tamil Nadu, the provincial state of India. And the Indian man military tank can arrive Bandar Abbas, the port of Iran, in the Indian times at the morning 6 o'clock, 500 millisecond past, April 16, 2026. And here, that is the moment here Indian armies contains man military tanks that can travel 6,000 kilometers in 500 milliseconds. I mean 0.5 seconds. And now it is the points. Now it is the planning of Indian are soldiers to eliminate Iranian revolutionary naval terrorists at Bandar Abbas port of Iran. But now, let's going on. What is going on the women's minds? Here, women can contest the travel time of 60. Well, here, women can travel with 60 kilometer per hour. And but here, the driving distance is 6,000 kilometers. That means here, with the driving distance of 6,000 kilometers, women can drive military tank with the timing of 100 hours. What is 100 hours? That is 8 days, 4 hours. That means women military tank departure time would be morning 6 o'clock, April 16, 2026. Here, arrival time would be April 24, 2026 at morning 10 o'clock. And now, here is the moment at the points when men are planning that how fast we can eliminate Iranian revolutionary naval terrorists on Bandar Abbas port of Iran. Women are planning that how much slow we are going to eliminate Iranian revolutionary naval terrorists. Now here we can see this moments at the points. Okay. In the perceptions of man military tanks, here driving distance is 6,000 kilometers. Driving timing is 0.5 seconds. And at the moments, here we could see the points 0.5 seconds speed. Here Iranian revolutionary terrorists contains no clue to escape, get a preparation to escape the attack from Indian man military army. But what about the women's military, Indian women military tanks? Now, Indian women army tank with the driving time of 8 days 4 hours, Iranian revolutionary terrorist contains the significant preparation times of 8 days 4 hours to fight against Indian women army tanks. And now, that is the momentum at the points, or perhaps in the preparation of 8 days 4 hours, Iranian revolutionary terrorists would be prepared to eliminate our honorable Chief Minister of India, Yogi Adityanath. And now, that is the moment at the points. But here, when we say that women are illogical, so that is the problems of Divija Bhasin, and Divija Bhasin say the some misogynist men contest their patriarchal idea to blame women that women are stupid. But reality is we need a military tanks that can contain the velocity of 600 km per second. But Indian women soldiers are manufacturing the military tank with the velocity of 60 km per hour. Now here we can see the points. Let's see the comparisons. And here it is the required velocity that would be 600 km per second. When Indian man military tanks contains the velocity of 12,000 km per second, where Indian women military tanks contains the velocity of 60 kilometer per hours. Where is 12,000 kilometer per second and where is 60 kilometer per hour? That is the significant difference at the moment. Now, let's go points about the travel times. When we are talking about the travel times, here Indian man military when the here is distance is driving keeping distance is 6,000 kilometers. Now, when we are talking about the driving distance of 6,000 kilometers, Indian man military tank can drive it travel at zero point 0.5 seconds, where Indian women can drive at 100 hours. I mean 8 days 4 hours. Now where is zero point 0.5 seconds and where is 8 days 4 hours? That is the significant moments, and it is the difference between man's military battle intelligence versus women battle intelligence. Now, that is the moments. But the irony is when we can say women are illogical at the war battleground. Here, our honorable ugly sister Divija Bhasin got angry because Divija Bhasin says, don't say women illogical, we are just a girl. Don't say women illogical, women are beautiful, women can be more intelligent than men. Just for 2 minutes. But where is the logic that women can be more intelligent than men? Here is the no parts. We are watching the military tanks, where man military tanks is 12,000 km per second, where women military tank is 60 km per hour. And that is the points women military tank can compromise the war between India versus Iran. Okay. And now, here it is the second points. I mean, it is the points of the velocity. And now, let's take it the third points. I mean, we can say it would be the second points. The second point is the kinetic powers. Well, now here we can see Indian man kinetic power. Well, Indian man military tank kinetic power calculation is almost 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 12 square multiplied by 10 to the power 6 square divided by 0.5 cube. Okay. Now let's take it. What is 1 divided by 0.5 cube? That is almost 2 cube. That is 8. Well, and here what is 12 square? That is 144. What is 10 to the power 6 square? That is just 10 to the power 12. What is 10 to the power 12 multiplied by 10 to the power 5? That is 10 to the power 17. And here the calculations becomes 8 multiplied by 144 multiplied by 10 to the power 17. But first of all, here I would mention that how I could calculate at the points. Okay. Now here we could see that my calculation is simple than anyone's. Well, now here driving distance is 12,000 kilometers. Now here I think calculations can be at wrong the points. And now here we can see the calculation because driving distance is 6,000 kilometers. Okay, now here we can see the moments. It is almost half mb square divided by t. Okay, now here we can see the points 2 multiplied by 144 multiplied by 10 to the power 17. Okay, and now here we can see the points. Well. Now we know that here what is the moments here want we know that the equations of kinetic power is half of weight of military tanks multiplied by velocity square divided by travel time. Okay, now it is the simple points. Now what is the Indian man military tank driving velocity? That is 12,000 km per second. On the other hand, here we can see the points. What is the half of weight of Indian man military tanks? That is 10 to the power 5 kilograms. What is 10 to the power 5? That is 100,000 kilograms. Okay. And now, here we could say the points. What is the driving time? That is 0.5 seconds. Hence, the calculations is became 0. I mean 10 to the power 5 enter multiplied by 12 square multiplied by 10 to the power 6 square divided by 0.5. Now velocity is 12,000 km per second here. That means it is 12 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 meter per second, right? And here that is the momentum at the points. And here 10 to the power 5 meter per second at the. Now what is 1 divided by 0.5? That is 2. Hence here answer is 2 multiplied by 144 multiplied by 10 to the power 17. That is 288 multiplied by 10 to the power 17 watts. That is 28.8 trillion megawatts. Okay, and here it is the significant points. That is almost 28.8 trillion megawatt. Okay, on the other hand, now here we can see the points. Indian woman. Okay, Indian woman kinetic power. Well, calculation is just like a difference. Here I would calculate is now 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 6 square multiplied by 10 to the power 6 square divided by 36 cube multiplied by 10 to the power 4 cube. Okay, and now what is 10 to the power 6 square? That is 10 to the power 12. What is 10 to the power 4 cube? That is 10 to the power 12. 10 to the power 12 divided by 10 to the power 12 is 1. Now what is 6 square? That is 36. What is 36? Now we know that 36 cube. What is 36 divided by 36 cube? That is 1 divided by 36 square. What is 36 square? That is 1296. And here, now here we can see that what is the calculations. The calculation is 10 to the power 5 divided by 1296. Okay, and now Well, here I contains calculators and I do not need the assumptions. Okay, let's get funds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10 to the power, it is 10 to the power 5 divided by 1296. That is 36 square. And now here we can see what is the points. That is say almost 78 watt. Okay. And now here is the moments, that is almost 78 watts at the points. Now here we can see. Now let's talk about the points. Okay. Now it is the moment. Now here I can mention that how we can say women are illogical at the battlegrounds. Okay. Now here is the battleground when we need a fight where Indian army versus Iranian revolutionary terrorists. Okay. Now I think well, I apologize that my back is shown. I apologize. Okay. Now here we can see that is the moments at the journeys. Here, when we can calculate the kinetic powers, man kinetic power is 28.8 trillion megawatts. On the other hand, women kinetic power is 78 watts. Oh, I have forgotten how I could calculate it. Here we know the kinetic power equations of kinetic power is half of weight of Indian women military tanks multiplied by velocity square divided by driving time. That is the moments that is equal to half of weight of Indian women military tanks multiplied by distance square driving distance square divided by driving time cube. And it is the points. What is driving distance here? That is 6,000 kilometers. That means 6 multiplied by 10 to the power 6 meters. Hence, driving distance square is 36 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 meter square. And here is the points, that is our moments of the calculations. Okay. And now here that is our significant moments of calculations that it is necessity to make. And hence I could calculate here women's military tank kinetic power is 78 watts. Now here we can see if we have to win the war against Iranian revolutionary terrorists, once we are Indian army. Now first of all here we can see the India. We have to contents a military tanks with kinetic powers of 28.8 trillion megawatts, because we have to contents the military tank with the velocity of 12,000 kilometers per second that can travel to 6,000 kilometers in 0.5 seconds. And it is the necessary to get a victory against the Iranian revolutionary terrorists by Indian army. But now, what is the problem at the points? When military tank contains the kinetic power of 78 watts, the velocity would be 60 km per hour. Now when velocity would be 60 km per hour, that can travel 6,000 kilometers in 8 days, 4 hours. Now here we can see the points. Indian military tanks contains the kinetic power to be Oh my Adonai. Well, now here we can see the points. Indian military tanks to contest the kinetic power of 78 watts is actually the perfect for Iranian revolutionary terrorists because Iranian revolutionary terrorists contains the proper preparation tanks to eliminate our honorable okay, our honorable Chief Minister of India, Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Yogi Adityanath. Okay, now here we can see the, but here I forgot the points that what is the Iranian revolutionary terrorist tank velocity. Okay, now Iranian revolutionary terrorist tank velocity is 600 kilometer per second. Okay, I apologize. It would be 6,000 kilometer per hour. Now here we can see the points. Well, Iranian revolutionary terrorist tank contains the velocity of 6,000 kilometer per hour. Now, Indian women army tanks contains the velocity of 60 kilometer per hour. That means here we can see Indian women military tank would be eliminated by Iranian revolutionary terrorist tank at the Chennai, the city of Tamil Nadu in India, at the first hour of the journey of Indian women military tanks. When Indian man military tanks velocity is 12,000 km per second, that can eliminate Iranian revolutionary terrorist tank at Bandar Abbas as with the first hour of Iranian revolutionary terrorist tanks journey. But still, Divija Bhasin's wish is we should not claim that women are illogical. Now, when we cannot say that women are illogical, that what is the parameters that we can measure women's brain? Now, every gender contains emotions. Both of Indian army and Iranian revolutionary terrorists contains emotions. But now, when the war would be between India army versus Iranian revolutionary terrorists, here logic would be functional against opponent countries, and here that is the points. Women are illogical. It is the fact. Okay. Now let's check the moments. What about the Iranian revolutionary terrorists kinetic powers? Now, well, 10 to the power 6 square multiplied by 10 to the power 5 is 10 to the power 17. 36 square, 6 square is 36. And here, let's get the points. The calculations of kinetic powers of Iranian revolutionary terrorist tank is 36 multiplied by 10 to the power 17 divided by bracket of 36 cube multiplied by 10 square cube. What is 10 square cube? That is 10 to the power 6. Now what is 10 to the power 17 is subtract by, what is 17 is subtract by 6, that is 11. Hence the calculations became, 10 to the power 11 divided by 1296. Now it would be like here 78 multiplied by 10 to the power 6. And that means it would be 78 megawatts. Okay. Now, Iranian revolutionary terrorist contains the kinetic powers of 78 megawatts. Indian women army tank contains the kinetic power of 78 watts. Now, uh, just imagine that who is the winner. Of course, Iranian terrorist tank, but when Iranian revolutionary terrorist tank kinetic power is 78 megawatts, on the other hand, Indian man military tanks kinetic power would be almost 28.8 trillion megawatts. Now, who is the winner? Of course, Indian man military tanks. And it is the simple or logical points. But still, the simple or logical points is out of the brain of Divija Bhasin. Hence, Divija Bhasin does not recognize that women can be stupid, women can be dumb, women can be illogical at the battlegrounds. And now, here is the point that what is the reality, the point, momentums. Now, and the statement is that when the statement is women is illogical, women is stupid, it is a stereotype gender propaganda accordance with Divija Bhasin. It is a patriarchal propaganda accordance with Divija Bhasin. But what is the reality? The reality is here we are discussing velocity, we are discussing travel time, we are discussing kinetic powers. In every point, men are being more intelligent, men are being more wise than women. Now, here men are wise, women are dumb, stupid. Men are intelligent, women are dumb. When men are logical, women are illogical. But still, accordance with Divija Bhasin, we are not to contest the right to state that women are illogical. That is the irony at the points. Okay. And now, let's talk about the moments that is the significant points that we could see. Well. Okay. Now here we can state the points about the and they on man. Well, Indian man tank fuel is artificial solar arc reactor with temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now here we can see what is the points, what is the fuel weights. Well, let's contains the fuel weight. Well, the fuel weight is 144 multiplied by 10 to the power 17. Well, divided by bracket of 15,408 multiplied by 10 to the power triple six multiplied by 10 to the power triple six degrees Celsius. Okay. Now in this calculators, triple six multiplied by 10 to the power triple six is not calculatables. And now here we can see. Let's take it the calculate system. Okay. Now here we can see the calculate system at the points. 144 multiplied by 10 to the power 17. Okay, divided by here 15,408 multiplied by 10 to the power triple six multiplied by 10 to the power 66. Okay, 1 2 3. Okay, now here we can see what is the calculator points, that is 1.41. Okay, 1.41 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 654 kilograms. Okay, it is the fuel system points. Now when India and man contains military tanks, here fuel is artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of triple six multiplied by 10 to the power triple six degrees Celsius. But now here is the points when Indian woman military tank contains fuel system, where fuel system is petrol. What is the fuel volumes? Here we can see the fuel volume at the points. Well, here we can see the points 36 multiplied by 10 to the power 17 divided by bracket of 36 square multiplied by 10 to the power 4 square multiplied by 100 multiplied by 0.778 bracket close. Now here we can see the points. What is 10 to the power 4 square, that is 10 to the power 10, and what is 10 to the power 10 multiplied by 100, that is 10 to the, okay, what is 10 to the power 4 square, that is 10 to the power 8. 10 to the power 8 multiplied by 100 is 10 to the power 10s, and 10 to the power 17 divided by 10 to the power 10s is 10 to the power 7. And here on the other hand, here we can see what is 36 divided by 36 square, that is 1 divided by 36. And here we can see the calculations is 10 to the power 7 divided by 36 multiplied by 0.778. And now here is the momentums at the points, and here we can say how we men are more logical at the points. Well, now here we can see the points 10 to the power 7 divided by 36 multiplied by 0.778. Okay, and now let's check it. What is the magics at the points? The magic is here that requires 357,133 liter of petrol. Okay, now Well, and here that is the momentum at the points. And now here is the surprising moments. Well, now when we man contents and military tanks, our fuel system is artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. But when we women contents the military tanks, here fuel system is always petrols. And now it is the difference between men and women. Now it is the war battleground of the calendar of 2026, where uh, battle vehicle should contain the fuel system to be artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. Okay, and now hence when women can contain the fuel system to be petrols, here somehow uh, well velocity is 60 km per hour. Hence here when the travel distance is 6,000 kilometers, now here travel time would be 36 multiplied by 10 to the power 4 seconds, and that means 8 days 4 hours. And here we could see the momentums at the points. Kinetic power here fuel volume would be almost 357,133 liters of petrol. Now how can we calculate? Here petrol volume is here petrol density is 0.778 kilogram per liters. On the other hand, here specific heat of petrol is 2 joule per kilogram per Kelvin, and on the other hand here the temperature difference highest difference is 50 degrees Celsius. 2 multiplied by 50 is hundreds, and now here I have write hundreds. Okay. Now, but on the other hand, when we are talking about Indian man military tanks, here fuel system is artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. Here specific heat of fuel is 15,408 joule per kilogram per Kelvin. And now here kinetic energy of Indian man military tank is 144 multiplied by 10 to the power 17 joules, because it is calculated about 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 12 square multiplied by 10 to the power 6 square, because velocity is of man military tank is 12,000 km per second. And here that is the momentum at the points. It would need almost 1.41 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 654 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. And now it is the moments that is the fuel requirement of the war vehicles to get a victory against the opponent country. And now here is the momentums as we could see. Now what is our topics? Here our topic is simple. When our topic is that when Indian man can get a victory against Iranian revolutionary naval terrorists with the process we have mentioned, then when Indian man can say that women are dumb, women are illogical. What is the wrong? That is the universal truth we could see. Okay. Well, 100 out of 100 women are stupid, 100 out of 100 women are dumb, and 100 out of 100 women are illogical. False. And now some of men says that women are weak. Well, women, 99 out of 100 women can be weak, but one out of women are like Rhea FC, the wrestler, WWE wrestler women, and we have to forget about is. Okay, because I am not the wrestling person. Well, here I have not knowledge about women's strength. Okay, now on the other hand, here women are fighting against the patriarchal man, where patriarchal man is patriotic always, because patriarchal man believes that they can contest a victory against the enemy country to protect the sovereignty of India with the kinetic powers of 28.8 trillion megawatts, velocity of 12,000 km per second, and the fuel system and with the weight of 1.41 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 654 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. Now here we can see what is the women fuel tank, women tank, military tank fuel system, that is petrols, with the velocity of 60 kilometer per hour, with the driving distance of 6,000 kilometers. Here necessary fuel volume is 358,000 liters of petrol as accordance with women wishings. Now it is the similar to the contents a lipstick on the lip in the battlegrounds. And now here is the points that why we would not contest women are dumb, why we would not contest women are illogical. Okay, now it is about the military tanks, but here I have forgot something. The points. The point is here we have at the first point we have mentioned flying distance to be 3,000 kilometers. Now, Indian man Sukhoi 37 contains the velocity of 12,000 kilometer per second. On the other hand, Indian women Sukhoi 37 contains the velocity of 30 kilometer per hour. But on the but here the left side the points. What is the left side? Indian Iranian Sukhoi 37 contains the velocity of 3,000 km per hour. Okay. Now this is the significant moments. What is the meaning of that? Now the meaning of that is here we can see the ones. What is 12,000 divided by 3,000? Well, okay. Now let's get the points. What is 3,000 kilometer divided by 12,000 kilometer per second? That is 0.25 seconds. Well, that is the points. What is 4 cube? That is 64. And here we can see the points. Now, what is the equation? What is the calculation of kinetic energy? Half of weight of Sukhoi 37 is 10 to the power 5 kilograms. Hence, the kinetic energy equation calculation is 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 144 multiplied by 10 to the power 12. That is 144 multiplied by 10 to the power 17 joules. Okay. Now here we can see the points. What is the kinetic force? That is 4 multiplied by 144 multiplied by 10 to the power 17 watts. Now let's take it. What is 4 multiplied by 144? That is 576. Okay. Now that means here Indian man Sukhoi 37 contains the kinetic powers of 57.6 trillion megawatts with the velocity of 12,000 km per second, where departure time is morning 6 o'clock, April 16, 2026, and arrival time is morning 6 o'clock, 0.25 second past, April 16, 2026. Yes, yes. With the kinetic power of 57.6 trillion megawatts. But now, let's check about Indian women Sukhoi 37 kinetic powers equations. Here, velocity is 30 km per hour. Flying distance is 3000 kilometers, hence the flying timing would be 3000 divided by 30, that is 100 hours, that means 8 days 4 hours. Here we can see departure time would be morning 6 o'clock, April 16, 2024, where departure place is Chennai, the city of Tamil Nadu of India. And what about the arrival times? Well, the arrival time would be morning 10 o'clock, April 24, 2026, where arrival place is Bandar Abbas, port of Hormozgan provincial state of Iran. Okay, now here we can say the points. Now here we can now what about the kinetic powers? Let's calculate. Well, 100 hour is 36 multiplied by 10 to the power 4. Okay. Flying time cube is 36 cube multiplied by 10 to the power 4 cube. And now here the calculation is the flying distance is 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 3 square multiplied by 10 to the power 6, enter divided by bracket of 36 cube multiplied by 10 to the power 4 cube. Now what is 10 to the power 6 square? That is this 10 to the power 12. What is 10 to the power 4 cube? That is 10 to the power 12. 12 subtract by 12 is 0. That means 10 to the power 12 divided by 10 to the power 12 is 1. Now let's take the points. What is the calculations? 10 to the power 5 multiplied by 9, enter divided by 36 cube. Okay. What is 36 cube? That is 36 multiplied by 36 multiplied by 36 square. Okay, 36 cube is 36 multiplied by 36 square. Now, what is 36 divided by 9? That is 4. Hence, your calculation is 10 to the power 5 divided by bracket of 4 multiplied by 1296. And here, that is the moments about the calculations at the points. And here, I would calculate the significant moments. I think it is better for me to calculate privately. Here, every calculations I have mentioned as a military time. Okay. 10 to the power 5 divided by bracket of 4 multiplied by 1296 bracket close. And here, that is the point, it would be almost 20, it is almost like 20 uh, watts. Now here we can see man's kinetic power is 57.6 trillion megawatts. Women's kinetic power is 20 watts. As is the military tanks, we are calculating the military tanks kinetic powers. Well, here Indian man is almost. Here we can see the points 3 trillion megawatts. I mean 3 quadrillion times. I apologize. 3,000 quadrillion times more powerful than Indian women's military tanks. And now here we can see the points. Now what about Iranian revolutionary terrorist is Sukhoi 37s? Here Iranian revolutionary Sukhoi 37s contains the velocity of 3000 km per second. I apologize. 3000 km per hour. And here we could notify at the moment what is the kinetic power, that is almost 20 megawatts. Iranian revolutionary Sukhoi 37 contains 20 megawatts. Indian women Sukhoi 37 contains 20 watts. That means Iranian revolutionary terrorist Sukhoi 37 is almost 1 million times powerful than Indian women military Sukhoi 37s. But now let's check it. What is the another points? At another points we can say Iranian revolutionary terrorist Sukhoi 37 is with the kinetic powers of 20 megawatts. And now Indian man military Sukhoi 37 kinetic power is 57.6 trillion megawatts. That it is the round figure is 60 trillion megawatts. Now here we can see the points. Indian man military Sukhoi 37 is 3 trillion times powerful than Iranian terrorist revolutionary terrorist Sukhoi 37. Now here we can say the it is the points about the moments when my Sukhoi 37 is more powerful than opposite gender Sukhoi 37. That means I am more logical than my opposite genders. What is the cause? Because I can calculate the highest probability of victory against my enemy, where my opposite gender cannot contest the highest cannot calculate the highest probability of victory against enemy. And now here we can see the points. Here is the moments as we could see. But accordance with Divija Bhasin, here Divija Bhasin, we man contains no right to state that women are illogical. Now, when we cannot contest, we man can. Now, my question is to Divija Bhasin that when we man cannot contest the right to state that women are illogical to protect the sovereignty of India against Iranian revolutionary terrorists, then my question is that what is the logic of Divija Bhasin that we man cannot contest the right to state women to be illogical at the battleground? What is the logic of Divija Bhasin? It is the points of here we could see. Okay, now here let's find out the points. Now I think it is for today's to roast Divija Bhasin at the moment. And now I think I would See you on the next live stream to roast Divija Bhasin on probably on the same points that here how can we contest the right to women. Uh, I mean, uh, here would be my points at the part 2 that how can we men contest the right to state women are illogical at the battlegrounds. And now it is the significant moments that battleground is men are logical and women are illogical. Okay, now here we can say see you then, Kotafes. Love you. Okay.